In the future, we're going to grind this out.
Welcome back, Space Cadets, to Hal Dave's Trip to Jupiter.
The reason why is I remember that Robo's going to have to fight a boss fight alone, and I don't want him to be, fucked over. So, we're going to do a couple things first. One...
It wouldn't be the first time we've gone grinding in this Let's Play, so...
Yeah. This is going to be special in this case, because we're going to hit, I need to get that.
Yeah.
Power tab.
Neat.
Sweet. Okay, so I want to make sure that Robo is actually in good shape for this. And we're going to make sure he gets his text taken care of. We're going to take care of Area Bomb.
Damage enemy with Melt Beam.
Now, if we do the conveyor belt battle a couple times, we should be good. So, shelter the fuck out of this. Make sure everyone's at full MP.
Alright.
And Chrono! And Luca. Sorry, that was nice for you. You're gonna get this. And Chrono. You're gonna get this.
Alright, Nuclear Lightning Boy.
Basically.
Use your powers.
We are gonna use the fuck
Use
out
all
of
the powers.
Yep. It's not the prettiest thing ever. It's gonna not be fun. But this is what we're gonna have to do here. So, to the grind!
Yes.
Let's begin this.
Oh, hey. These episodes are all gonna blur together.
Yep. It's true.
That is kind of the risk of doing, like, a long game.
Yeah. I accept this.
Yeah, well, I was watching, I was one streamer do, like, this one RPG on the PS1. And they did it for, like, what felt like forever. But every time I would tune in, it looked exactly the same to me. And I'm like, where are we in this game?
It's going to... Yeah, this is going to be one of those cases. I just want to make sure that... now, look... I've been... Look, if there's one thing I like doing in RPGs is make sure I over-prepare for a fight. In this case... If I'm gonna have to do solo with one character for a boss fight, I'm like, nope,
We're going solo in a JRPG is always a tricky proposition.
Yeah.
I give credit to the games that managed to make it fun.
Oh, yeah. Robo's also leveling up from this, so this is one of those cases. So, and as you can see, by having Chrono with the golden stud, he's using a lot less MP.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah, like... Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like the right place for it to be. Just let Chrono be our overpowered boy.
Yeah. Yep, and...
I mean, that's what he's supposed to be anyways.
Yeah. Well, Chrono is Optimus Prime, as we have established.
Well, he pulled an Optimus Prime, but I don't know if he's quite got the... Oh, good. Do that right next to the microphone.
I don't care anymore. We're grinding. I'm just...
We're the most professional Space Cadets.
I don't care. I don't.
I don't care either.
Alright.
Whoever was listening on headphones cares, though.
I'm sorry, person on headphones. Alright, we're doing this again.
Yeah, I think definitely when we were doing like our Sonic Heroes thing, there was kind of like a F this sort of feeling that crept into me, and I realized that trying to put on like a show is actually pointless, because I think some of the most fun moments of Let's Plays come from just being completely real.
As you can see, doing that conveyor belt stuff with that actually netted us down quite a huge amount.
Yeah, I think we got like what was it, like 150?
Yeah, something.
Okay, so we don't have to do that too much.
Yeah, this is just one of those... Yeah.
Well, you know, Dave? I'm going to pass the ball to you on this one. This is the perfect time to go on a tangent about some cool thing that you saw recently.
Okay.
Something potentially involving mutants.
So I decided to actually watch Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mostly because, as a Ninja Turtles fan myself, I decided to actually sit down and watch it because, one, it's ending, essentially. Big finale.
How many seasons did it get?
2.
2 seasons.
It did not do well. The toys apparently are very rare from what I hear. Like, they just did not show up many places. I don't know whether to blame that, but because I heard that the overall toy line was kind of shoddy in places.
Oh. Huh.
It's mostly because of who they chose as their character lead designer. From what I heard,
For the toys?
yeah, like there's this one weird set of toys that are called clicks, where these tiny turtle figures that click together to form. It's not a great. It's
Weird. Well,
yeah, like
like from the outside, because probably a lot of people ended up like me, where they saw like the first episode or they saw like the previews, and then there was not a very positive reaction because everybody was like, "Oh no, it's the Teen Titans Go effect."
no, it's not Teen Titans Go. It's
and then Dave shows me a few episodes tonight, and I'm just like, "Wow, this is actually really good."
yeah, no, it's a lot more dramatic than you would think, and also, it's.
Well, I think a lot of the criticism that kind of got leveled in its direction, it was like fans are afraid of change.
Yeah.
And I realized that what we're kind of seeing here is it's like the Transformers animated problem.
Yeah.
Where it's goofy and different, and Transformers animated had the unfortunate position of being launched next to the Bayformers film, so you had two polar opposite things, where one's like hyper realistic and gritty, and the other one's like very more goofy and cartoony than they've been in a while.
Oh yeah.
But ultimately, Transformers Animated was a very well-beloved show. And Rise of the TMNT seems like it's kind of going in that direction, too.
I like Rise of the TMNT because, here's the thing, I was actually not the biggest fan initially. Here's the thing, I always try to give things fair shots to impress me. Like, I gave Thundercats Roar a chance to impress me.
That was a mistake.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But, I gave a fair shot, and I think that's the only thing you can do for shows. You can give them a shot, and if you don't like them, you don't like them.
Yeah.
I decided, here's the thing. What does impress me if I end up, and here's the truth about it, sometimes it's good to get spoiled.
No, I was going to say, if there is anybody who does not mind getting spoiled, it's me.
So the reason why spoilers can be good sometimes is if there's a dramatic moment you hear about that you find compelling or you see it, then it's like, oh, how the fuck did this happen? How did we get here?
No, see, that's exactly what happened to me with Xenosaga.
Yeah.
Is I was not super into the first game because it was very hard and slow-paced. And so, but then in between time, Zelda Twilight Princess came out, and I started playing that game instead. And so I was like, well, I think the story's interesting, but I don't know if I'm going to finish it. So I got spoiled on the ending, not to episode 1, but to episode 3. And I had exactly that. How did we get here? And I played the entire trilogy because of that.
Yep, and that's how I ended up getting into it. Because what they do with Splinter in the show was initially not looking too great. The initial problems with Splinter were not... A lot of people weren't into him for various reasons.
Well, they done like the goofy version where he's like this old dude who likes to sit around watching TV all the time and laughing.
Yeah, and then you find out more about him, and it becomes, oh, this makes sense. Mostly because it's Splinter who doesn't want to fight his... The show is a little more complex than I gave it credit for initially. And when those complexities become obvious, it's like, oh, that actually makes sense. The lore for the show is different from normal TMNT to an extent, but not so hard that it's totally unrecognizable.
Yeah. I was gonna say, there's a certain familiar villain who plays into the lore after being absent for a while.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, spoilers.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
Look,
there's certain, any given franchise, like, there's always going to be, like, a certain hero and certain villains.
Yeah.
The thing that those characters would never show up is, you know, folly.
Well, in this case, one of the things with the show is that we actually get Shredder, and the big revelations about Shredder in the show changed the show's style hard in this case. And once we get the Shredder stuff, we also get more of the Splinter stuff, and when that happens, the show just becomes more interesting. And once, like, it's just a very good show. You know, I think the designers actually put this here just in case it's like, oh, Robo's not powerful enough for this boss fight. Here, have this.
That's true, this is the perfect grinding spot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. When I watched the first episode, when it was premiered, I forget when, I actually sort of liked it. I was definitely not one of those people who was like, oh, you know, it's different, so it's bad. Because I thought the animation was very good. I thought they used a lot of, like, dynamic angles and fluid motions. And that was really good. I mean, the story was kind of, like, goofy, but it's like Ninja Turtles. Like, how...
Yeah.
It's always a sense of goofiness, but they had, like, the new villain, or a new villain.
Yeah, Lord Draxon.
Draxon, I always forget that guy's name. Lord Draxon. And he seems like he was positioned to be the main villain for a little while, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to that end, I'm like, well, you know, this is a new guy. But it didn't feel wrong. It didn't feel as wrong as, like, something like Thundercats Roar.
I'll say with Ninja Turtles, they always had a nice rotating cast of villains. So if you introduce a new dude, it wasn't always, like, the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Well, it's like how the original series thrived on having a lot of different, like, villains of the week or something like that, so they can make toys out of them.
Well, the mutants, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And this show does that to an extent. There are a lot of interesting mutants in the show, of course. And there is a comedy focus, but it's not Teen Titans Go, fourth wall, broken all the time for no reason. It's also very animated, too. Like, there's a lot of movement in the show.
I find the character designs or the art style really works, just in its, like, kind of goofy, two-dimensional style. Because I know they had, like, a lot of different, like, mutant characters in the 3D one, and sometimes it felt like they were kind of, like, going out of their way to just, like, make weird stuff that was not always visually appealing.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true.
It's partly, like, the shading and, like, style of the show itself for that one, because they went for, like, a really, like, grungy color palette.
Let's see. I'm just checking here. Should I...
We got Area Bomb. Oh good, we can grind for several more laps.
We could actually do it.
We were ground for the last 13 minutes while talking about cartoons.
Do we want
Space
to...
Cadets! Thumbs up if you want us to continue grinding. Thumbs up if you do not want us to...
We're continuing grinding!
Please don't touch the thumbs down button.
Please don't.
That's right, during Sonic Heroes we got, like, our first hate watcher.
I wonder who that was.
I don't even know, because, like, our first few videos on that got a lot of views, and then they kind of decreased during the last few.
And that's usually what happens when you do multi-part videos, to be fair. So, like, if you do a series, sometimes... like, we're also just not big enough where it's like...
Well, yeah, that too. But yeah, we, like, had, like, actual thumbs down on those. We had one thumbs down on each of those videos, and it's like, huh.
We're actually YouTubers now.
It's like, somebody's actually watching us enough to give us a thumbs down.
I have a suspect that I'm gonna ask about later as a
Wait,
joke.
you know this person?
I have a suspect, I'm kidding. I actually...
The plot thickens.
Maybe. If it is the case, I'm gonna ask around. But it's probably just somebody... But honestly, it's a Sonic video. Could just be a guy who just hates Sonic and just thumb downs anything with him in it.
or who loves Sonic, and anyone who says anything remotely negative.
I thought I was pretty positive about it the whole way through, for the most part.
Yeah, I don't think we really, like, went down on the game too hard.
I didn't ream it that hard in comparison to other things I did.
I was just an adamant Game Grumps fan. It's like, you can't talk about our Lord and Savior Aaron that way. I'm like, Shaggy, what?
Look, Danny for life, man, and John for life.
Well, now we just started a war, wait. A war in which you were on both sides.
Yes. I think both are great. I actually just don't like Aaron as much.
Well, you can refer to our Sonic Heroes episodes for what I think on that one. All I can say is guard button.
Guard, guard, guard. Yay, everyone's leveling up. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, honestly, we just need like a couple runs here and, you know, Robo will be fine.
This will be our grinding random banter episode, apparently.
I wonder... Hold it, let me check here. Hey, Robo's not the only one who needs it.
I wonder if that's picking up the microphone. Of course, right when I say that, it stops.
Okay. Frog's good, so... you know, Ayla, Marl, you're gonna... Yeah, I was actually making the right call here. Let's see. I'm just checking to see who could use it. So, Magus... Oh, frick, yeah, no.
The power of life or death.
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna actually, get Magus in here. Frog! I'm sorry, we're gonna have to get your pretty boy rival in here. I know. I'm shocked too. But we're gonna have to do this.
Oh, yeah. Gotta keep trying to stop myself on we've already exceeded the maximum number of times I should be allowed to reference Xenogears in the selfie. But,
I just
the parallels are so much there that it drives me crazy, and so Magus strongly resembles a major character from Xenogears. But the character in question is not a party member in that game, and I'm like, man, it'd be kind of cool if he was.
Yeah, well, that's
but
why
Magus is kind of cooler too, because he's got a scythe in his official art, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a scythe.
Magus actually does fight with a scythe in this game. It's what he equips. It's just Magus is usually a magic character.
Well, he doesn't carry it around in his default sprite.
Well,
so.
nobody carries around their weapons except for
Chrono whips it out. But like Magus, he's pulling on his glove right now. He's like, would you like some fisticuffs?
Magus is just a wizard who likes to, battle down on occasion. He knows what he wants in life. But that's why we're here.
He's like, good job, Chrono. I didn't have to lift a finger.
Thank you, Chrono. I didn't have to ruin my pretty hairs. I just got a prom this week.
And then Robo decides to dunk on him. He's like, yes, you would have broken a nail.
It's like, what? I don't have nails. I have finely manicured fingers. I don't know what would he say. Magus.
No, you must have a screw loose.
Okay.
But like all of his humor is robot related, and he doesn't understand organics. So it's all about like nails and bolts and screws.
I can see that so easily with him.
What a real pain in the exhaust port.
You could go die, Magus, and I wouldn't care. Yes, that's how dark I am.
Makes me think of the Brack show had like his next door neighbor was like a super robot.
Oh yeah,
Thundercleese. And I forget the context of the rest of it, where Brack like asks him about like he doesn't have enough time to do something, and then Thundercleese is like, time is just the measurement that carbon-based life forms have used to measure their inevitable decay. So, he's like, okay.
Magus actually doesn't need that much to upgrade, like, his tech. This is gonna be fun. We're just gonna have... Yeah, like, take a look at... Robo here is at 640.
Yeah.
And Magus needs 819.
Yeah,
so...
well, that's still quite bad.
Yeah. I'm actually
We have Black Hole.
Yeah, which... Let's just check everyone else, because...
Ayla.
She's
my favorite.
And Marl. Honestly, we could just grind them out all here and just have them be more powerful.
I forget exactly why I found myself looking for certain, like, Chrono Trigger artwork, but I found some very amazing, like, fan art for this game at one point.
There's a lot of good stuff fans have made for Chrono Trigger.
But one thing I found was someone did basically, it was like a realistic painting of Ayla riding a pterodactyl.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Even cooler than that for me was I found their Artstation page and they did a breakdown of it.
Ooh.
And they showed the, like, they had kind of a, like, mannequin model that they were using for the pose, and they had like an actual, like, hand reference that they got, like, from a photo to get the hands on, because it was very, like, realistic, very, like, anatomically correct.
That sounds neat at the very least.
Yeah, well, like, the process fascinates me even more than the end result sometimes.
No, like, process can always be, like, just something fun to look at. Alright, power, Robo, here.
Alright, buff Robo.
Yeah, let's see.
Magic +1. Magus.
Let's just make him more powerful.
He is the most magical Magus.
Look, that's why we call him Magical Magus. He is our boy. We need our boy powerful. Or else. Robo! Activate the machine again. We need to do the conveyor.
Activate grind. Battle routine set. Execute.
Chrono? Just use Luminaire. Yeah, like, Chrono only uses up 5 every time.
Yeah.
And he's dead. Yay! More experience points for the great and powerful. I swear, at some point I might as well just be making a machine.
Yeah, we just keep doing this. So, what kind of fight is Robo in for that we've been grinding for?
Probably something he's gonna win very easily even at this point, but I just want to, like...
Yeah, at this point.
I kind of just want to have everyone have their complete techs.
Wow.
I'm not lying when...
Well, like I've been saying before, perfect time to give us feedback, Space Cadets. Is this entertaining just to chill with us while we do this, or you want us to get to the plot?
We're probably gonna get to the plot pretty soon, but we're gonna see how much, like, look, we're on our way. We're on our journey to Johto. But honestly, getting tech points, like a lot of them like this, it's so helpful.
Yeah. I agree. Like, we did like the stream when Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive came out.
Yeah.
But we never went farther with that. And this is what a Xenoblade Chronicles Let's Play would look like.
Yeah.
If we bothered to record everything.
We bothered to record everything.
Because I think even having a really good understanding of the game, I still got the game timer up to like close to 100 hours when I defeated the final boss.
Let's see.
Because I was very diligent in doing the side quests and getting different skill trees and such for characters. Wow. But you want your RPG to make you want to do that.
Yeah, basically.
You're invested in the world, invested in the characters. I remember one of the first games, or not like one of the first games, I don't know. I just remember a game that stood out to me at one point where I felt like I was connected to the characters because I had been with them for so long, was actually Tales of Symphonia.
That one I actually do have a huge nostalgia spot for. That was my first Tales game.
Yeah.
And
That was my only Tales game.
Tales games are one of those great games for teenagers. in my opinion.
They did a really good job having like those little skits that would happen occasionally, and the characters talk about mundane things.
Yeah, the unfortunate problem is that because of like modern console generations, Tails ended up in kind of a spiral dive.
Yeah.
Well, Tails kind of. So the HD generation of consoles, aka the PS3 era, caused a lot of issues for
Did
a lot
number
of.
on JRPGs.
It did a number on a lot of things, and Tails was one of those games that was kind of a yearly or at least semi-annual series. Like, if you think about it. Like,
Yeah, given the number of titles I've heard from around that time.
I wouldn't call it maybe like the most annual, but it was easy enough to develop for Namco that they were able to do it on a regular basis. Then the HD era happened and things went horribly wrong.
I was gonna say, like, I'm trying to think of like the various JRPGs that kind of came out around that time that did not do all that well. And then now I'm trying to think of like what JRPGs even exist today.
A lot still do. It's just that the problem with how JRPGs ended up being at the time was that they didn't really know. A lot of them wanted to move on from turn-based, so there was issues with like figuring out gameplay styles.
Yeah, well, that's right. I had that tangent some episodes ago on Chrono Trigger where I was like, the fans would be fine with active time battle or turn-based. It's the developers that are afraid to do it.
Yeah, like, active time is also not too much of an issue, in my opinion. It's just... And plus, like, Persona...
Yo, you just make this game again, but you do, like, high-definition sprites. People would buy that.
Yes.
Absolutely buy that.
Dude, why did you just reveal my dreams to our fans?
Alright, cool. We're gonna start a Kickstarter. Wait, Kickstarter sucks. Okay, we're gonna start a Patreon. Wait, Patreon sucks.
What
Okay,
doesn't suck?
we're not gonna make any money on this. And therefore it will delay the release indefinitely.
How am I do? We'll see. We'll find a way. Maybe.
I mean, you know, not gonna lie, that's an idea that's crossed my mind on many an occasion.
If we get something.
To make a, not quite Chrono Trigger, but probably like a Xenogears inspired game. Because I've at times done some like OC type characters that would very much fall in that vein.
I actually have my own idea for a JRPG style story, kind of. That was just a story. It wasn't going to actually be used for a video game called the Dreams in the Sky. The idea is that it takes place
from Trails in the Sky.
Yeah, basically. The idea of it is that it's about this man who is hired to find a masked thief in the city who is stealing a bunch of valuables from locals. And
Is he stealing their hearts?
No. And he finds out that he actually becomes from the kingdom below. You see, his city is actually in the sky. And the people in the kingdom below are not supposed to know about it.
That is like a sci-fi trope that I always enjoy.
And you see, he's kind of like in this future Magitech world, and the city below is like the traditional fantasy world. And the guy who's stealing it is like, you know, a regular peasant down there, who's just using what he finds to support his family.
So he came from the world below and is stealing the high-tech stuff from above and bringing it back down.
Yeah.
So he's like all awesome because he does that.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's like... Yeah. And he's using this identity that's also kind of heroic to try and help the people.
This is like a Robin Hood kind of thing.
Yeah, basically. The best way to describe it is it's basically... I thought about, like, how would you do kind of like a Spider-Man in a Final Fantasy setting? And that was the idea.
And it became Robin Hood.
Yeah. Kind of.
Just because I always go there, that's actually... Xenogears has a lot of that kind of like world setup where... I mean, so does Chrono Trigger when you go to that part where there's like this city in the sky that is all magical and stuff.
Yeah.
Where in Xenogears version, that's a legitimately high-tech, like, sky city. And they've been manipulating the world below via, like, politics and military forces. But on the world below, it looks like a more traditional fantasy.
Yeah, no. I wanted that idea with, like, a whole thing about, like, people below didn't know, and it was legend for them. So, the whole idea is that he doesn't know how... Because here's the thing. There are a lot of issues with him finding that secret.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't... One, he can't really get people to believe him down below. And his family's not invested...
So he just finds, like, amazing stuff and tries to tell them where it came from honestly, and they're just like, sure.
They just believe it's mad. They just believe that, like...
It's magic. It's like, no, it's science!
Basically, is the idea. And he's trying his best to help them, but they also get... But that's not the end of the story. That's only the beginning of the story. The other aspect to the story is that there's a conspiracy going on in the Sky City above, where the detective and the thief have to team up to protect their worlds.
That's a good progression.
I think so. It's a story that I had, like, an idea for.
Yeah, because you connect the two worlds in that regard and make it, like, into a larger thing.
Yeah. I actually have a character whose whole thing is, what if Sephiroth knew he was going to become Sephiroth, as an idea?
Isn't that just the premise of the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
Not really, actually. The idea of the character is that he's been told throughout his entire generation that he would be this monster, but as he grows older, he actually doesn't ever feel those urges and is wondering, how am I this? So he's trying to figure out, like, what is supposed to make him that way and why are people telling him this?
I feel like that was kind of like a discussion my brother and I were having recently. More about just like the expectations that one's parents level upon them versus what they actually want to do with their lives.
Oh yeah, I want to play with the idea of basically guy was told he was the Antichrist from birth, and then finds out he isn't.
Hitting it hard there.
Yeah, basically. If you're not gonna take this, I will. Again, there's a lot of plays with what I... Wow, I think I maxed out Robo's HP.
999.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of 9s.
999.
Well, I mean, now that we're... Yeah, I guess we're still going. This is... You know what? I'm going to cut this episode whenever the grinding ends and not before.
We're just gonna see.
It's going to be like a 2-hour-long episode.
We'll see.
I mean, we're at the 32 minutes on the timer right now.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we're probably just gonna do 2 more runs at this point.
Alright. I was going to say, my idea for, kind of like a Chrono Trigger / Xenogears type JRPG was... I wanted to play with the idea of, like, a looping timeline.
Uh-huh.
And so I was thinking that your initial run through the game would actually be very short. Like,
Okay.
You could kind of, like, finish the game in, like, 5 to 10 hours, basically. And visit a few major... It'd be like in space. Like, visit a few major planets and get to know, like, the main cast during that time. And then you reach the end. But it's, like, a really bad ending where, like, everyone dies, the universe gets destroyed, something like that. And then it prompts you to start a new game plus. And you come back around and have, like, not, like, everything that you finished the game with, but some of the things. And then you kind of start over. But then immediately you're offered new options that you didn't have for, like, story choices and quest choices that you didn't have before. And so then from there, basically it's like you get the initial run is just to introduce you to the concept.
Yeah.
And you're on a fix, like, the worst ending. And then after that, you can make a lot of different choices in order to choose what kind of ending you get.
That's actually really cool.
But that's a risky game design in the sense that, you know, people may not understand it, and so when they finish the game and get the one ending, they might just stop playing and be like, that game sucked because that story was bad and it was too short. And it's like, no, that was the point. That first part was to introduce you to the fact that there's actually a huge number of options that you are going to have in the future. I would love to go for that. Or like try something like that if I had the opportunity.
That seems like a cool idea. Oh, wow, check this attack out.
Nice.
Holy crud, that was a lot of damage.
Yeah, it was. But I guess Chrono Trigger is kind of like that in a sense. So it's not like it's something that's never been done that would be like super risky to do, especially if it's presented in a fun, familiar way. So like if I were to try to do it with like these like Chrono Trigger style sprites or like slightly higher resolution than that, I think people might find it appealing. And actually, did Bravely Default do something like that?
It does have a time loop gimmick.
Okay, yeah. Good time to remember that. I've never played that game. I've heard so many good things about it.
I didn't want to, like, spoil your fun.
Oh, no, I am past that. I have long since accepted that any idea that you think is amazing and super original, you are just setting yourself up for a fall, because you are going to immediately turn around and find that thing.
Basically.
That is exactly like your idea. And you're like, ah, shit, why do we even try?
Like I said, I didn't want to be a dick about it, because I don't want to be like, actually, this
I can take it.
Thank you. Okay, Bravely Default did, but it's a longer-ass game. You don't discover it till, like, 40 minutes in. 40 hours. Like, Bravely Default...
okay, so say you finish the game at 40 hours, is that what you're saying?
Basically, if you go through the quest and don't do... Like, if you go through the main quest the first run,
yeah, you
actually get, like, a whole, like, base... It feels like a regular JRPG. Which, yeah, you know... And it's like, oh, yeah. And then you discover the time loop stuff, and you go through the game again.
And you get, like, appreciable differences to the story?
Yeah, to an extent. And you also get...
How long would, like, a New Game Plus run be, then?
It could be anywhere from a lot of time. Like, you actually do multiple runs, so...
Well, yeah, I gathered that much. And that's actually also what I was talking about. See, this is what I'm talking about, Space Cadet stuff. But I had this same kind of thing before when I was coming up with a lot of like sort of like sci-fi fantasy ideas involving some like Judeo-Christian lore. And then I went and played Xenogears and I'm like, they beat me to it back in 1998. So that's what, from that moment onwards, I was just like, any amazing idea that you think you have that is super original has been done at least once, if not many more times.
Oh no, like a good example is back there in the 80s, there was an idea. Two comics actually came up with the same idea. What if King Arthur reincarnated in the modern day?
There you go.
Like, one was Camelot 3000, which was a future book, and the other one was Mage. And both are pretty good, and they just go through it two different ways.
I thought we were about to bring up King Arthur and the Knights of Justice.
Okay, so an entire toy line, but what hasn't been a toy line?
I love toy lines.
So do I. I appreciate toy. Well, like, Hal can confirm that I do love me my toys.
Oh yeah, Dave is a great collector.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm kind of like running out of space, so to speak, where I'm at, and I am thinking that Dave's essentially museum might be a good home for some of these things.
I do love me my Transformers and everything else. Especially my robots in disguise. Like, I recently almost have a complete I actually almost have a complete Transformers animated collection.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Thanks to the whole COVID situation, it's been a very long time since our friends we've all gathered over at Dave's place, because he's been a very good host in the past on Friday nights, just hanging out and having fun, playing games and watching shows. And then, of course, pandemics hit, and that kills all the fun.
Yep. Now, geez, I think I almost maxed out Robo here. And, yeah, now Robo's stats seem... Like, Robo's stats are almost maxed.
I have become God.
Like, his MP's not maxed. Magus is already maxed.
And he's like, foolish robot, I was already a god.
I'm speaking of, like, HP and MP.
Oh, yeah, no, I see it. I see your stats.
Yep.
And Chrono's like, I'm gonna train some more.
Yep.
This is Goku.
Basically. Goku now has what we're gonna call the cheating device.
What?
His girlfriend. This is the fight I was preparing for.
Wait. Should we put this on the next episode?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Space Cadets. We're gonna find out what the heck is up with Atropos next time on Hal and Dave's Trip to Jupiter.